Hello, my dear friends. My name is Harold, and welcome to The Sanctum, your gateway into learning and exploring the ancient wisdom of the East and the West. In this video, we shall be talking about intuition and how we can become aware of intuition so that we can be guided on our path and gain the answers to the questions that we may have. So now, whether you believe it or not, we are always being guided. Always our answers are being answered. It's just that we aren't aware of our intuition. We aren't aware of the messages that are coming to us, from beyond ourselves. So stay tuned, because in this video, by the end of this video, I shall be talking about how you can begin to become aware of your intuition and the messages that you may be getting from your higher self or beyond. That may be the answers to the questions that you may have, or the guidance that you may need in your path. Make sure you watch till the end of the video, as I will be talking about a meditation that you can do to begin to cultivate this awareness of where these messages are coming to you from and how these messages are coming to you. You'll get what I mean as we continue. So, first of all, what is intuition? Well, first of all, it's there in the word. In, like inside, and tuition. Tuition is sort of like being taught something, or being led, being guided, a teaching of a sort. So, intuition is inner teaching. The inner knowledge and wisdom that we may achieve that may come from outside of ourselves. This inner knowing, that is our intuition. So why would we want to become aware of our intuition? So this may be useful to us when we want to know where we want to go in our lives, whether we want to make a particular decision, whether it's a financial decision, a relationship decision, or a decision regarding our spiritual life. We may need this inner teaching. If we are in danger, or meeting somebody that is potentially dangerous or is up to no good, this intuition may be very useful to us to keep ourselves safe and protected. Or perhaps we meet somebody that is meant to show us something in a particular way. Our intuition will guide us in that way to follow that path, perhaps. So there are many reasons why intuition may be useful to us. So, first thing, it's important to understand that intuition is happening all the time. It's just sometimes we may have a thought, and we may be confused as to whether this is just our thought, that it's our mind just making stuff up, or perhaps it's coming from something higher than ourselves that is guiding us in a particular way. This is why sometimes maybe our intuition is correct, because we were able to see that and be like, I got that message and I acted upon it, and that was right, that was intuition. But then suddenly our mind might be overthinking and creating all sorts of nonsense, and we may start to think that's our intuition, start following that, and it leads nowhere. So how do we discern between the two and be able to separate intuition and guidance from the nonsense that our monkey mind, starts to spew at us on a daily basis? So this is what we'll be talking about here. And all it takes is awareness. Let me tell you what I mean. Okay. If you're really here, if you're really present and aware of your thoughts, you'll notice that your thoughts come from different places. Let me explain. So for example, if I tell you right now to create in your mind the image of a pink cat. So now you've created a pink cat in your mind. Now this pink cat, were you aware of where it came from? What I mean by that is, were you aware of where this pink cat was created? Now if I take a stick and try to touch this pink cat that I created in my mind, I won't be able to touch it because it's not here. But this image of a pink cat appeared somewhere. But where? Perhaps it was maybe around this area where that pink cat emerged from in my mind Now, this is the realm of our imagination, meaning our creative mind. Wherever that pink cat arrived from or manifested itself in your mind, when I mean where, I mean in your perception, here or wherever, that is where, when your mind is making stuff up, that's where it's coming from. It'll always appear there, around there. Now, when it's intuition, it'll be somewhere else. And this will vary from person to person, which is why I can't tell you exactly where it manifests for you. You'll have to do the practices and be aware and notice when you have intuition and you act upon it, and in fact it was guidance in some form. That's where your intuition is coming from. And whenever you listen to a message that comes from there, let's say intuition is manifesting from here, whenever you listen to that, that is coming from beyond yourself, maybe from your higher self, maybe from the source of all creation, maybe from somewhere else that is guiding you in a particular way, right? Whereas all this nonsense over here is what your mind may be creating. Okay, so note that we have this little cursor, this awareness that we can move around our body. If I tell you to bring your awareness to your left foot, you can become aware of your left foot and notice that you have a left foot and it's right there. Right. Now I want you to bring your attention to the tip of your nose. Feel your nose. Now you brought the cursor from your left foot all the way to your nose, but now you've lost your left foot. So now move your cursor back to your left foot. Feel your left foot over there. This little cursor of awareness. This is our mental consciousness, our awareness. Now I want you to bring this into your thoughts. What I mean by that is become aware of your thinking right now. You may be thinking. Maybe it's in images, maybe it's in feelings, maybe it's in sounds. Maybe you hear a little voice chatting to you. It might be your own voice, hopefully. So now, when you bring your attention there, where you become aware of the sound of your own thoughts, or the awareness of your thoughts expressing itself however they express themselves, because we all have different modalities, and therefore our thoughts can express itself in different ways depending on the person. Now bring your attention there. That is what you're going to be focusing on when you do this practice that I'm going to be sharing with you right now. That will begin to increase your awareness of the mental field where you think, so that over time, if you're really aware, you can now begin to discern between your own thinking and intuition, because they're different. They come from different places. Now, I will do this in a guided meditation form. That will be there on my Patreon channel, because I know some of you prefer the guided meditation form of this exercise. So that will be there on my Patreon channel. You can check that out if you want. So all you need to do is just sit down and relax for a moment. Take a few deep breaths in and out. A few deep belly breaths to relax for a moment. And now once you have relaxed for a moment, I would like you now to bring your attention, that little cursor from wherever it might be, to your mental field. Meaning the darkness or blackness behind your eyes. And become aware of your thinking. Notice what thoughts are arising. Maybe you're thinking about something that happened during the day, or something that may happen in a few days, or maybe you're thinking about lunch or something random, whatever it might be. Become aware of what you're thinking of. That is your internal chatter. Now I want you to create an image of something random. It could be anything. Let's say you're going to create the picture of a grassy doe. A doe that's made out of grass. Your mind now created this. It's very unlikely you've seen an actual grassy doe in real life. But now your mind is going to create this grassy doe. See where it begins to manifest. Is it on the right hand side? Is it on the left hand side? Is it on the bottom here? Wherever it might be, notice where that image pops up. That is your creative field. Note that. Yeah. Now I would like you to think of what you did yesterday morning. Immediately go back to the memory of yesterday morning, something you did yesterday morning. Notice where that pops up. Most of the time, it'll be different from this image that you created up here. Maybe it's a little bit down here. Maybe it's towards the front. Maybe it's somewhere in between. Notice where that image of yesterday came from. So now this is where the past and thoughts of the past, recollections from the past take place for you, wherever that might be. Now I want you to completely fabricate a memory that may take place a week from now. Perhaps you're giving a presentation at work or something, or maybe you're going on a holiday, maybe you're just going on the bus to work, or whatever it might be. Imagine that it's been a week from now and you're on the bus to work, or something of that nature that you might be doing next week, or you might be planning to do next week. Notice where the future appears. Maybe it's further front, maybe it's back, maybe it's towards the left. Wherever it is, this is now your depiction of future. This is your creative imagination, where your mind is able to create and fabricate a memory from the future. So now you have 3 points in which your mind may start to create different elements of thought. So like this, note that there are 3 different areas in which this begins to manifest. It's a very simple exercise. Once you've done this, you open your eyes. Now I want you to keep your attention on that visual field, that mental field, and go about your day. This is the difficult part, but it's easy with practice. Every time you get distracted and you notice you're not on that mental field, come back there. Bring your cursor back there and become aware of your thoughts. And notice, as you begin to think, where your thinking takes place. Is it going to the past? Is it going to the future? Is it creating images? Or once in a while, you may notice something like this comes up. And whenever that comes up, observe it. Maybe even write it down. And note whether it will begin to manifest over time. Or maybe it's the answer to a question. I know it sounds rather subtle, but as you begin to practice, you will develop this discernment between intuition and the own monkey mind creating stuff, right? And the more you practice this, the more you can focus on this, and it'll become more of a noticeable thing. It's a bit like when you first started to read. Letters were just these strange symbols. If you remember when you first learned to read or write, you're like, what on earth is this letter A and B? They were just symbols to you. But later on, suddenly you were able to, oh, that's an A, that's a B, that's a C. And then later on, they formed into words, and you can, now you don't even have to think about it. If I can just spell out a word, Love, boom, you know it's the word love, without even trying. Same sort of thing. The more you practice this, in the start, might be a little bit difficult, but the more you practice it, it'll pop out to you. So now you can actually see it, you can interact with it, and you can follow that guidance that will lead you to where you need to go. So I hope all of this makes sense. Please like and subscribe to this video, and I hope to see you again in the next video. Thank you, take care, and see you soon. Peace.